All right, guys, let's connect it up. Coming at you. Walking Dead discussion, Walking Dead universe discussion. What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters on One Eyebrow, also known as PT, and I'm back to talk about a variety of different topics. Thank you for joining me today, January 19th, 2020. So we're going to go for about an hour. We do this every Sunday from Eastern Standard Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here to talk about a variety of topics, do a little Q&A. Always like to get questions and answers going for that because some people post a comment and I might not see it, but here it's live. We're coming at you. So obviously, spoiler warning for what people ask. I'm not sure what people are going to ask, so I can't really say like, oh yeah, don't come here if you don't want to know that, because people ask a lot of great questions. So we always like to answer that. So thank you guys for taking the time to be here. It means a lot to me. It truly does, because you choose to be here. You choose to be a part of the channel. If you haven't already, guys, please hit that subscribe button. We have a goal of 100,000 subscribers, and hopefully we'll hit that goal this year. It's always good to have goals. I say it all the time. As a physical therapist, we always have short-term goals and long-term goals with our patients, and that really carries over to day-to-day life for myself. Short-term goals is make it through the day. Long-term goals is bucket list stuff that you want to do for sure. So I appreciate it. So thank you guys for all being here, everybody to be a part of it. So The Walking Dead returns in 5 weeks. The Walking Dead Season 10B, Season 10, Episode 9 will be back on the air in 5 weeks, which will be here before you know it. And it seems so long ago because we didn't have The Walking Dead for December, January so far, and February it'll be back. So The Walking Dead 2, I found some interesting information. Hopefully you guys check out the videos and about The Walking Dead World Beyond. The word is the Twitter accounts of The Walking Dead World Beyond, Facebook page, all that stuff, they say that it's going to be coming to television on April 12th. If you do the math, when The Walking Dead Season 10B comes on television, it starts February 23rd, and it ends right on April 12th. If it's 8 weeks in a row, which it usually is, it'll end on the same day as the premiere of The Walking Dead World Beyond. So I assume that they're trying to make us watch The World Beyond. I'm going to watch it because I've said it before in videos, and people like to give me, some jokes with me, but they say I'm excited because I am. The Walking Dead universe is something that I'm excited to talk about. I love to talk about The Walking Dead in all aspects, even Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, comics, spin-offs, movies. When Andrew Lincoln's at a gun range, we're talking about it. We're making videos, So The Walking Dead World Beyond the early word is that it comes and it starts April 12th, 2020. 10 episodes, and we're only going to get 2 seasons. Which is crazy to think, like, why do that? Why tell us that? Why tell us that it's going to be 2 seasons? Do you even want to waste your time? I mean, some people don't even want to watch it to begin with because they're not liking the whole kid aspect and the way you're going with it. But I think it can be good, especially with the idea of, the connections, CRM, a connecting point with the universe of The Walking Dead. So I'm excited for The Walking Dead to return, The World Beyond, and then Fear the Walking Dead, and then The Walking Dead Season 10 or Season 11A. So it's crazy to think that The Walking Dead is such a big universe that they're finally getting into the big story of the universe of The Walking Dead. Like before, it was just The Walking Dead. And then we got Fear, and they didn't want to really have a connecting point with it. They wanted to do their own thing. Well, don't call it The Walking Dead then. Call it Fear the Zombie Apocalypse or something, right? Don't say that it's going to have the name of The Walking Dead if you aren't going to connect the show and the universe some way, somehow, in some big scheme. Then finally they got rid of that whole showrunner to have it be like, okay, we're going to connect. But now it's just a hodgepodge of a mess. The first 3 seasons aren't going to add up with 4, 5, and 6, and this person got killed off, and that person got killed off, and they want to connect, but they don't want to connect, and I don't know. But The World Beyond is going to be 2 seasons, and it's like, why? How do they know it's only going to be 2 seasons? What if it's really good, right? What if it's a really good thing and we're like, we like the show. Hopefully it's going to merge, and the plan is if it goes well, it'll merge with Fear or the movies or a spinoff or something. But for them to blatantly tell us that it's going to be 2 seasons, and the word is that it's going to be 20 episodes, 10 episodes for both season, is like, I don't know how I feel about that. How do you guys feel about it too, you know? So I don't know what to say, but ultimately The Walking Dead has season 11 pre-production. I've had some videos of talking about, season 10B, what to expect, what potentially to happen from the comics, the spoilers, the potential spoilers, what people have said, and it's great. So I don't know. I'm excited to find out, and it feels like it's close, but it's just not close enough, right? So thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Mark, Renee, Jay, Kane, Boyd, Jane, Ruben, James, Jane, Darlene. Come on, Jane. Come on down, Darlene. Haven't seen you in a while. Janet and a bunch of other people just joined. So thank you guys for being here this Sunday. It's a crappy Sunday weather-wise. I live in Florida. I live a couple miles from the beach. My wife wanted to go to the beach yesterday, and we went for the sunset. It was a really nice day, and I love to go to the beach. It's just one of those things where I'm like, when you live so close to it, you take it for granted though, right? So, but The Walking Dead comics, I go to them now to get reference points for where we're at in the show. People are wondering, can the show continue on after they use up all the comic material, the source material? And they're saying a big game. AMC producers and executives and all these people are like, yeah, it can go on, it can go on, it can go on, it can go on, right? But can it? They said the same thing about the second to last issue, because nobody knew issue 193 was the last issue of the Walking Dead comic until it was. The last issue was issue 193. The title of that issue was Farmhouse, or The Farmhouse. And then when we find out that it was the last issue, it was changed to The End. So you're like, oh, okay, so I guess this is it. Bing, bada, boom, it's out. But the way it ended, I'm okay with it. But the show can definitely exist past the source material. They have the whole CRM angle. They have the whole situation with the Commonwealth. They have a whole situation with what after that. They have the whole situation that they can just bring to the show. There are some things that are just for the show. I don't know if it's going to be that big of a thing where they can continue on with a big story. But we'll have to see. I just don't think they can come up with that much of creation, because you have the source material, you have your basic there too. Maybe you bring a character in, oh, it's nice, but the things are Rick, hospital, coma, getting out of it, Shane, Lori, the farm, the prison. It's like certain things that they're hitting big time for the show and the comic. Some things are different, a lot of things are different, but it's one of those things where I'm like, man, I wish that we kind of knew a little definitive thing what their plan is, because they're going to talk a big game. They don't want to say, well, we don't know what we're going to do, and they never want to tell you it's going to be the end for some reason. But when it is, it'll tell you the final season of The Walking Dead to make sure that everybody watches. But Darlene asks, any plans to go to Fandemic Atlanta? I'm really not going to go, Darlene, to any conventions anymore. Money's kind of tight right now with some situations around the house and some stuff around there, so I can't really just jump on the convention trail again. I'm not going to go on there. I know there's a cruise. Somebody sent me a link on the direct message on Instagram, and there's some Royal Caribbean cruise about something with that, and I'm like, man, that looks like a lesser version of the Walker Stalker cruise. But without the cruises going around and Walker Stalker, it's nice to take a break with it a little bit. So I'm not going to be going to any conventions for a long time. If anything, I'm probably going to go to the Star Wars convention in Orlando, if and whenever it comes back, hopefully next year. I know it's in Anaheim next year, or this year, and then next year it's to be determined. But when it comes back to Orlando, I plan to go to that. Mark says, Bri, isn't the permit on the windmill in Alexandria good for 3 years? Well, I think they just redid it again, so they talked about the permit and everything. So it's good for 3 years, but 1 year, it was like September, I think, when they did that meeting in in Newnan or Sonoy. I forget where the meeting place was. But they did file for more an injunction of an extension for it, and it was granted, of course, because, they love having everything there, and it was easy that they allowed it, and they were like, all in favor. But I don't know exactly how many years it is, 2 to 3, but I think it could be 3. And that's just probably what the permit could be good for. Don't know if they're actually going to use all 3, if the plan is, but I would assume so, because that'd be probably season 11, 12, and 13. I mean, I think we get probably 12 to 13 seasons, and that's a great run, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm just enjoying where we're at now for sure. So, yeah, M King in the house. Where you been, M King? But yeah, we got some mods. We got some awesome mods. We got some awesome people in the channel now. We had to clear some just craziness out, and we're good. So we're doing a lot of good things here, man. We're having a good time. I'd like to have a good time on the Walking Dead topics and whatever we talk about too, So anybody watch UFC last night? UFC 246. I don't buy pay-per-views and stuff like that too, especially for, a 40-second knockout. It's really not worth it in my opinion, but Conor McGregor's back, and he's good for the UFC. So I thought it'd be kind of cool, like if you start thinking about The Walking Dead, the characters, you have this character, you have that character, but they all kind of seem like regular people. And I thought it'd be kind of cool, and I have it in my book series, to have, the idea of celebrities. And maybe Beta is going to be the celebrity singer that'll probably come around. But that'd be kind of cool if you came across regular people, came across so-and-so, and they were like, whoa, he played professional baseball, or he played professional this. And some characters in the comics, they played for, different football and everything. It was kind of cool. But I don't know what's the future going to be for the characters going forward, who's going to survive, who's not. But I just love talking about it, that's for sure. So let me see what we got for some questions up in here, too. So Janet, Q&A, Brian, just for a bit of fun speculation, what do you think about the Whisperers putting a mask on a walker to trick the survivors? I don't think that would really matter too much, because you're still going to fire arrows and bolts and bullets and guns and knives and whatever at people. And the big thing is you watch their hands. That's what they always say too. Watch their hands if they're reaching for knives, if you can tell that, because a walker is just going to be aimlessly going around and make a lunge for you and try to get you. A Whisperer is probably going to be a little more calculated, a little more slow, and then they'll reach for a knife and they'll do that. So you got to watch their hands. And I would assume that I haven't really seen too much of the Whisperer's hands, but they probably look more like people hands than rotting flesh on there, even if they put some skin on there from the Whisperers or the walkers that they do. And so I don't know. I don't really think that would be too much of a thing to do that. But I have a question. I made a video early last week, right? And I haven't been able to post it because I made a video, and then the whole thing came with Andrew Lincoln at the gun range, made that video, and then another video about this. And so I've been having to making other videos, which has been great, but I haven't been able to post it, which I'm going to post tomorrow, is about the walker that Carol killed. Whatever happened with that? Nothing. I guess it was just made to tell us that Carol wasn't hallucinating, right? I was like, what's happening with that? And we haven't seen that. And that was in season 10, episode 3. And we're coming up on season 10, episode 9. So we're like, what the heck? What the heck's going on there too? So what do we got here? Sorry, this thing is jumping around a little bit. Sorry for the buffering. I know some people saying it's buffering, and I apologize for that. But, it's a connection. Jane, Q&A, how long has it been on the timeline since Rick left in the helicopter? Well, Rick left in the helicopter, and then it was a 6-year time jump for older Judith and Magna's group when we met them. So that was 6 years. And then the winter came, so there was a couple more months there. And then Rosita gave birth, so a couple more months there. So at best case, I'm guessing it's 6.5 years, probably closer to 7 years since Rick went away now. So it's somewhere in between that timeline, 6 to 7 years around that timeline is what I'm guessing. So I'm hoping that when we see Rick Grimes in the first movie, whenever they're going to start filming, hopefully very, very soon. Some people are talking about end of the year. Some people are talking early of the year. Some people are talking here. We just don't know when or where they're going to shoot it yet, but I'm assuming Georgia, because they're set up there with camera crews, studios, just production stuff, tax breaks, and it's, they can just easily film in Georgia more than other states and locations, I would assume. But the whole idea is that I'm hoping that Rick, when we see him, it'll probably be just like the opening of the series, the first episode, the pilot episode of the Walking Dead series. Rick in a hospital bed recovering. He's, bandaged up and he was there, but the hospital has people in it. When before, it didn't. So that's how I would write it. If I was writing the script for the movie, I would have Rick helicoptered in. People are taking him in. There's a doctor voice. There's this and that. You hear flashes of, you see Rick's in and out of consciousness. Bing, bang, boom. We're losing him. And then boop. And then we see that he's hooked up to a monitor. And then it goes dark. And then he wakes up and Rick's in the hospital. Rick has his beard. He's got his look. He's got his thing. And then we see where he's at because you got to keep Rick alive. Rick's losing blood. Rick's doing Rick's that. So I would assume that the first movie will be over that, 6 years or so. And then we'll eventually get to it where we're at. So I think it'd be pretty interesting for sure. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see more information about it too. Once we find out that he's here, because if he flies into Atlanta, there's always pictures with TSA or people in the airport like, oh, Rick Grimes was there, or Andrew Lincoln was there. He's there. People always get pictures with it. It's pretty cool. We got a bunch of stuff here. Gary Page Q&A. Which of the current Walking Dead cast have other shows to star in? This could tell us who is going to die this season. Well, that's hard to say because the whole thing, Rosita, Christian Serratos, it was going to be on Netflix, filming a TV show there about Selena. Is she going to die? Jeffrey Dean Morgan filmed a movie called Postmaster or something. I forget what it was called. The Postcard Killings or something. I think it's a Stephen King book or some other book that's a Postcard Killings. He filmed that. It's going to be out this year. And there's a bunch of people that have done other stuff outside of The Walking Dead. And I don't know if that's always a good marker for how they do it because The Walking Dead films from late April, early May, all the way to November. They take a break in around August or so for a week or two, but usually they're filming for 2 weeks an episode, 2 weeks an episode, 2 weeks an episode, 2 weeks an episode, and they film 16 episodes. So they film a little bit longer, a little bit shorter if they're up to date, and they filmed this season out of order. So I don't know if we can really get that, but that's a good question, Gary, for sure. Rob K, Q&A. Should Ezekiel tell Carol about his illness? For sure. If we know, it's kind of annoying when characters don't tell other characters stuff that we know. It's kind of frustrating in my eyes where you're like, just tell her. Just tell her. And if he doesn't tell her at all, that's pretty annoying. But if he's building up for it, and then he finally tells her, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But he should. I think Ezekiel should tell Carol about his illness for sure. Jonathan Wilder, what's your favorite Walking Dead theory? Favorite? I don't know. One of my favorites that I came up with that I thought of too is the orange backpack theory because I think it reigns true. I think it's one of those things where the orange backpack was brought on the show into Rick's group in season 3 when they didn't save the hitchhiker, and that's like instant karma. The instant karma of not saving someone when you put the orange backpack on that belonged to the hiker. To me, I personally love the orange backpack theory. And I don't know if other people thought of it or not, but I know I definitely have, and I definitely shared it a bunch of different ways and a bunch of different topics and a bunch of different times. But in videos, some people love it. They love it. They hate it. They love to hate on it. I don't know. But I just like the idea of it being something that makes sense because I think that it's pretty cool. It's one of those things where like it gives you a little justification like, okay, some stuff has happened when that has been around, when it's been on people or people have had it in a group and someone has died in the group or one of their loved ones have too. So Jonathan Wilder again. Do you think The Walking Dead will have snow again? Now, I think that was one and done. I think that was a one-time thing. And I'm really glad that it was seen because it really needed to, for sure. It was one of those things where I'm like, man, it was pretty cool to see because they're in Virginia in the story and they're also in Georgia and they film there. But I'm glad they got it done because it's one of those things that people would always ask. When's it going to snow? What about the seasons? What about this? What about Morales? I'm in there too. My question is, if, and most likely in my opinion, when Michonne leaves, is every question going to be, when's Michonne coming? Where's Michonne? How did Michonne? Where did Michonne go? Well, Michonne's not coming back to the TV show, and neither is Rick. So the only way they could possibly get together, if Michonne survives, is the movies. So I'm guessing that she survives. And Michonne's a huge character. Denai Guerrera is a great actress, and she brings a lot for Walking Dead with Michonne. And I think Michonne needs to be seen again because she's my favorite character. And also, I think it'd be really great to have that. And it would really help sell the movies, for sure. Guy in Black, Q&A. If you could bring back a dead character, who would it be? That's a tough one. Because I don't know if we have older Judith, if we have Carl. And I personally like older Judith. She's one of my favorite characters, newer characters for sure. I love Abraham. I wish Abraham could be there. Glenn in the Maggie situation would be nice. That'd be a nice, romance and, relationship and just building for the future. But I don't know if Maggie's the same character. She'd be the same character without him. And it's too far gone now, but I always thought that the best thing would have been to do is to have Shane and Andrea go away, and then they come back and help out or do something when the governor attacks the prison. But that was the thing. So that's tough to say. I probably roll the dice between Abraham, because I think Abraham would have been great during the war. And the Carl situation was a little, that didn't need to happen, I don't think. And, Shane would have been very interesting to have on the show. Last a little bit longer, too. So I thought that was pretty cool. Great question, by the way. Gary Page says, I watched Look at the Flower episode today. She is such a good actress. And Melissa McBride is great. And so many people don't realize how big of a character Carol is for the show. Melissa McBride is awesome. She brings a lot to the table, and I'm glad that she has survived her comic story arc, and she's been such a big character involved in so much. Maybe a little too much at times, and she needs to get back to badass Carol, not crazy over-the-top revenge Carol, and I hopefully we see that in the back half of season 10. Yenzi Q&A, do you think Jesus was a big waste on the show? By the way, love your channel. Thank you, Yenzi. I appreciate it. Big waste, borderline up there for sure. Jesus, he's a character I would love to bring back. But Jesus didn't really get to show his abilities as a martial artist and everything on there too. And I love martial arts. I love, combat sports and everything there. And, if you read my book series, you know that I do love martial arts, and, the main character is, part of a martial artist. And I think that it's a big thing that I grew up doing wrestling and martial arts myself, and I did it in high school. And, I was actually talking about it with a friend the other day because, one of my high school reunions is coming up next year. And so I was like, man, I remember going to learn Kung Fu and doing this and doing that. And I worked at Annie Ann's. And, I think that it would have been great to have some action and some stuff there. And, the martial artist way and the mindset is a really good way of being in the zombie apocalypse too. Being there for your family, being there for, hurting others when you need to, but not doing that out of necessity, and protecting yourself and protecting others. And I think Jesus could have been a good character for that. Even though his death was epic, memorable, I'll never forget that. There's certain deaths that were very impactful, and that's definitely one of them, for sure. Jesus, Herschel, Beth, pretty crazy. The Pike lineup, the Negan's lineup, for sure. So, Louis Martin says, Brian, can you fast forward time to February 23rd? Man, I wish I could. But that would be kind of crazy if you could play with time like that. I'd probably go backwards if I could. I'd probably rewind it. And then, no, I'm just kidding. But February 23rd, I'll be here before you know it, guys. It's like a month away. Well, 5 weeks away. But it's just about a month away. And it'll be here once we get more information with you. Hopefully we'll get some spoilers about season 10, episode 9. Because a lot of people are wondering, is the speculation true about Kelly and/or Connie? Does that happen in the, initially it was like a cave with a waterfall and rocks go down, but then it was a cave with Alpha and that, and then we saw what it is, and now they're locked in a cave and they're trapped, and how are they going to get out is the big question. So, Sunflower Beth asks, Bri, where do you get your shelves? My little girl wants them. I got these shelves behind me from Target. There are two different kinds, so you can see the two different squiggle shelves, and the round ones were the cubes. They were like a 3-pack, and then so the other ones were 2, and on there. But yeah, we got them at Target. Check on Amazon or Target for it. But yeah, I love these. I put these up initially when I first got my house. Man, coming up on 9 years ago, I bought my house, and it's one of those things where like I was like, all right, we got to decorate it, we got to do this, and this was just a blank wall, and we put these up, and we started putting more and more stuff on there too, and we got little knickknacks over the time and over this, and bought stuff on eBay or bought stuff on over there, but we got a bunch of things. Like I don't even know if you can really see behind me, but we got like Yoda and BB-8 and Baby Groot and stuff in there too. So we got a bunch of things on there that I love to have on there, and a picture of Callie as well too. So Arsenic Alley Cat Q&A: do you think all the weapon changes for Daryl is a Norman request or just changes that they like to make? That's a good question. I don't know the answer because I don't know if Norman is saying, oh, what about this? What about that? But I think Norman Reedus is definitely involved in the character of Daryl. Daryl is Norman and Norman is Daryl. It's a zombie apocalypse and it's fictional, of course, but Daryl is Norman Reedus, what he would do probably in a zombie apocalypse. Of course, highlighted as a superhero and all these big things, but Norman, I don't think is really acting that hard to be Daryl. I think he's just kind of being what Daryl would do, and it just comes across as refreshing and real and how he would be. And I love when actors and actresses can just be real and they can be themselves, whatever it would be. If it's a sports story or a fictional zombie apocalypse or a romance novel or whatever the story would be, But I know that Norman is involved with it for sure. But when I made the video and I talked about all his different weapons, I'm like, man, who else has really got more weapons than that? And I know that Daryl definitely had. Rick has a decent amount. But who else? Who really else had different weapons? Abraham had a couple different things, and Rosita has used a different couple weapons. And, certain characters have had more weapons. But then if you think about it, other characters don't even really have that much of an iconic weapon. You'd have Morgan's staff and Carol's knife. And, Glenn had a couple different weapons throughout the series when he was alive. So it was one of those things where I'm like, man, pretty cool. So Renee asked a good question. Anyone else check out Tom Payne's Prodigal Son show? I have not, actually. I know that's on Fox, and I've been meaning to watch it, but I really don't watch that much TV outside of The Walking Dead. And we were watching a couple things on Netflix. And we haven't really watched too much television. We watched Bad Boys for Life yesterday, and it was pretty good. I'll do a review on that probably. I don't know when I can do it because I got so much stuff going on for it, but I want to do a review on Bad Boys for Life. But if you like Bad Boys and Martin Lawrence and Will Smith and that stuff too, definitely check it out. It's a movie that is, over-the-top action comedy on there. It's the classic Bad Boys stuff, and it was pretty interesting. If you like that, definitely recommend it. I was entertained. That's for sure. But today we got football. We got the AFC Championship game, the Titans versus the Chiefs at 3 o'clock, 3:05 or something. And then we have the 49ers and the Packers in the 6:40 NFC Championship game. So I personally want to see the Chiefs play the 49ers. I think that would be one of the better Super Bowls to watch. But all I can say is that I'm glad the Patriots are not in it. So that's really good for sure. So we'll have to see how it goes down today, and we'll get who's in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, and then we'll be in February. Once the Super Bowl hits, that's February 2nd, we'll be in February, and once we're in February, it'll be a countdown to so many weeks because the Super Bowl is February 2nd. 3 weeks later, it'll be The Walking Dead on the 23rd. So that's pretty cool. I wish it was a little bit earlier, like a week or two after the Super Bowl, but, we'll take it, that's for sure. Christian, what is your favorite season of Fear the Walking Dead? Man, that's a tough question. So many seasons have been like A and B have been so different of Fear the Walking Dead. I've never seen a show in my life that the first half of the season barely even connects with the second half of the season and vice versa. There's been some connecting points, of course, but favorite season, one doesn't jump out at me at all. I liked probably season 4. Season 3 had some good moments in it with the ranch and, with the different family. And then they had I don't know. It's between season 3 and 4 I'm going to go with, but it's hard to say. I don't really have a favorite, but I'd like the new characters that were introduced in season 4, so in season 5, I don't know. That's a tough one. Arsenic Alley Cat, when do you think we'll see the weapon Rosita had in the trailer? Well, I'm guessing we'll see it when she goes to take out that whisper that is going to, I guess, hopefully just try to take out baby Coco and Baby Coco will be all right. But I see that new weapon. She swings it there too. And that's the only time I've really seen it in the trailer besides, little other shots. But, we'll have to see what happens with that. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens in the back half of season 10 and how it connects with season 11. And I'm excited to see Princess, the Commonwealth, Maggie, the Whisperer War, Alpha, Beta, Negan. What's going to happen with there? Who's going to survive? Is Gamma going to survive? Is Beta going to survive? Is Alpha going to survive? I mean, I highly doubt that Alpha survives, but you never know. They always paint the thing that there's some quotes going around like, oh, well, just because it happened in the comic doesn't mean it happened on the show. Well, big moments like that have pretty much always happened on the show. There was a Negan lineup. They went to the prison. There was the Pike lineup. There was certain characters introduced. There was big moments all around that have happened. Now there's been some remixes and twists and turns for sure, and the whole thing with Dwight and Negan and stuff. It's I don't know. It's one of those things that I just don't know how they're not going to hit that big moment with it. Chris asked, "How will Lydia come back to the show?" That's a good question. I don't know, Chris. I want to know how they're going to do that with it for sure. I think that either she goes to the Whisperer camp and Gamma stops her and tells her to go away, or she goes back on her own. I doubt she really gets face-to-face with Alpha. I doubt she gets face-to-face with the Whisperers, because how can she? If Lydia goes back to the Whisperers and everyone sees her like, oh my God, Lydia's alive. She's back from the dead. Oh, wait, no, Alpha lied to us. Oh, no, wait, we can't trust Alpha. What are we going to do? Maybe Gamma takes Lydia to Alpha and Beta tries to kill her, and Alpha steps in the way, or Negan intervenes again, and then Lydia goes back to Alexandria. I just don't know how it's going to happen, but I doubt that she really hangs out in the woods for too long, and she goes back to Alexandria. Just makes the most sense. I don't know. Crystal, the singer chick. Bri, do you think we'll lose Magna in the back half? I think there's a possibility for it. I don't know per se. I can't say, it's definitely going to happen, but it's potentially could happen. I don't know any spoiler information to it. It's just a theory right now and a discussion topic. But I think we have to lose somebody from Magna's group, right? I like Luke. I don't want it to be Luke. I like Yumiko. Connie and Kelly. I would pick Connie over Kelly. And I think Magna is probably one of the weaker people of that group for the show. Yumiko is important going forward. Luke is the comic relief. Connie is connected with Daryl. I guess between Kelly and Magna, they could go, in my opinion. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know, but we'll see what they want to do. I kind of thought Ezekiel would die in the first half of season 10, and a lot of people did, but he's still alive. I don't know. Guy in Black, Q&A. Who do you think would win in a hand-to-hand fight between the governor and Negan? Okay, the governor has one eye. I mean, come on, Negan, right? Come on, that's gotta happen. Jackie, hey Brian, PT Peeps, do you think it's strange the new Walking Dead show, World, is only supposed to air 20 episodes? Interested to know your thoughts on this. Thanks, love the channel. Yes, Jackie, I talked about that at the beginning of the live stream where I was like, wow, why are they blatantly telling us that it's going to be 2 episodes? It's a 2 season Walking Dead story. Is that enough? I guess so, if they don't really have bigger things to go beyond that. But I'm like, should we even invest our time with these characters if it's only going to be 20 episodes? I find it interesting. I personally hope it's going to be 20 episodes, and then Fear of the Walking Dead is going to be done in season 7, and then it connects, and the 2 shows come together. Because why even watch the show if it's going to be 2 seasons, Jonathan Wilder wants to know, will Negan get Lucille back? I would assume so. That's a big moment in the comics. When they fight and Dwight is leading the charge and throws Negan Lucille, and Negan catches it and then boom, hits Beta with it, and they fight and they do this, and then Negan gets the upper hand and breaks Lucille on Beta's back. That's a big moment. That has to happen, you know. That really needs to happen, in my opinion. Just like certain things need to happen. Like Rick Grimes needs to be reunited with Michonne, with Daryl, with Judith, and he needs to meet RJ, for sure. HAL, so Hal, H space AL, Hal. Do you think the first scene of Herschel's son of Glenn will save Judith from the Walkers like when Glenn saved Rick in the season 7? Or in the first season. Sorry, question marks. I don't know. Herschel's got to be, 7 years old, 8 years old? I guess an 8-year-old could save Judith. I don't know if that's going to be like right away. That could be cool. That would be cool. I don't know. Maybe Herschel and Maggie are there and they save Judith. That would be nice. That's a nice kind of full circle Easter egg connecting point that Glenn saved. So a Ree saved a Grimes. So Maggie could save Judith, and she's a Ree, could save a Grimes and Judith. So yeah, I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. I would like to see that, actually. That'd be a nice. That's kind of fan service, but we need some fan service every now and again too. So. Christian, you already asked that question about fear. I already answered that. So, but thank you guys for taking the time for it. I got to give an update about my book series. I am on chapter 14. No, I'm not on chapter 14 or 15 of the 18-chapter book. They're editing. So I'm definitely going through the editing pretty well. Then my wife's already read the first 2 chapters, and then when she finishes hers, I'm going to go back, proofread it again, and then we'll have it up. So hopefully that'll be the middle, if not end of February is the goal, because I'm trying to have it be done right, but also it's a big book. It is, book 11 of my series that I have. The general idea was that I can have 20 books of this series. And then if I want to end it or have another series that connects and goes to it or not, or what I want to do from there, because I do like the idea of having a zombie apocalypse story that goes on for a while. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And then if I do another series, there's a beginning, middle, and end. It's not just going to be on and drag on and go on and this and never end and do that and just drag on. All right, where's the story? What's going to happen? What's doing here? What's going to happen there? Like it finally will go, right? So I like the idea of having that. So this is book 11. Book 11 is called Access. It'll be out in February. So I know some people are interested in the book series, and I love talking about it too. So I'll have to get more videos going on the Fight For Us channel. So if you can, guys, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get my man Stan Yak to make some more pictures so I can talk about it a little bit more, some more artwork for the series, and I have to just wait on him because he's been doing other comic books and stuff for it. I've always thought the idea would be have some good art, and I'm really not the best artist for that stuff. I mean, I can draw somewhat, but I don't have the digital capabilities like he does and a lot of people do. So I'm like, man, I need the right person to put that right look for it, for sure. So Janet, Q&A, Brian, any more thoughts on the Whisperer wearing the mask that doesn't fit, having trouble coming up with a good theory? I don't know, because it just seems like the Whisperer mask was made for somebody else. And that person who is looking at Rosita is looking at the person with the mask that doesn't fit. So is the person even there? Is Rosita hallucinating it? Is Rosita going after someone that, because the Whisperer, or the person wearing the Whisperer mask, looks to have a knife in their hand. So Coco's in danger. It's not like it's a person put a Whisperer mask on and they were taking the baby to safety to act like they're a Whisperer, but it was, Alexandrian that's blending in, like Carol did with the wolves. Because remember, Carol was going around and the wolves came in and she put the W on her head and the thing over her face, and she was blending in. So I could see it being someone that's an Alexandrian. They kill the Whisperer, take their mask, and it doesn't fit properly. That's the only thing I could think of. That it's actually but then they're coming down to hurt baby Coco, so then that doesn't fit either. So I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things that it's got us talking. It's got us wondering. And sometimes they put that stuff in the trailer to have us talking, to have us interesting with it. Because I'm definitely having the idea of, like, man, what's going to happen in that cave? What's going to happen at Hilltop? What's going to happen with Beta inside Alexandria? You're like, man, that's crazy, What you got here? Sir Dark Star, sorry, just jumping around on me too. Q&A, based on the Daryl, Carol, and Negan finale spoilers, you think this season will have a cliffhanger? I mean, it could have a small cliffhanger, and that's okay, but I don't want to have a big cliffhanger again like the Negan lineup. I just don't. And I think they learned their lesson because there was a lot of outcry from it and a lot of people complaining about it. So, I don't know. It could be that's a good question. There's just no way to tell too. So, good points here. Good tone there too. I'm just trying to go through the chat and make sure I didn't miss anything because I hate when I missed a question on there for sure. So I got Janet's okay. Good. So thank you guys for taking the time here. Lindsay, Q&A, has anyone heard any news on Little Herschel casting? Makes me think he won't be returning with Maggie. Well, he could return with Maggie, but we might not see him. That's a good question. I mean, there hasn't really been anything that was cast where Baby Herschel was. Or it's not even Baby Herschel anymore. It's young Herschel. I don't know. I didn't hear anything. If anybody has, definitely post it in the chat, because I'm interested for that too, because Herschel could be there, little young Herschel could be there, but we don't see him. They're like, oh, where's Herschel? I know he ran inside or whatever. But the only big thing was Maggie, and we don't know if she returns in episode 14, 15, or 16. We don't know if it's the very end of the season or if it's towards the middle of it on there too. So if Michonne's last episode, if it's right, it's rumored to be episode 12. And if Maggie's not coming back to episode 14, 15, or 16, there's no way Michonne and Maggie interact, which sucks because Maggie and Michonne left, last time we saw them at least, on different terms. And Maggie has been away for a while, and Maggie's been getting notes from there. So I don't know what she knows, what she doesn't know. The big question, too, is how is Michonne going to go away? Is she going to get killed? Is she going to get kidnapped? Is she going to be on a boat? Because how could she just leave Judith by herself? How could Maggie leave Herschel if Maggie and Herschel and Georgie and wherever were in the community and Maggie went back home? There's no way that Maggie would just leave Herschel at some other community, even if she trusts these people. It just wouldn't sit right? So we'll have to see what happens there. And Sir Darkstar answered your question there as well. So thank you guys for taking the time. I'll go for about we'll go 18 minutes for a full hour for it. So I'm excited. I don't have Monday off. If you do, for Martin Luther King Day, and definitely enjoy it. I know some workers and schools and stuff are closed, so definitely enjoy the day. I don't know if you're going to be getting impacted by the weather. I'm in Tampa, Florida. I know it's going to be getting colder now because of the weather that's going to the northeast. They're going to be getting snow, and it's going to be craziness on there as well. So be safe out there. Definitely get your food and everything, and hunker down, stay down, watch TV and Netflix and everything else, and maybe watch some of our videos. That'd be good too. Or maybe read the Fight for Us book series, on digital and paperback. That always works too, too. And I like talking about my book series, but I don't want to try to sell you on it, but it definitely comes back to the channel. The proceeds that the book make, I don't get, 100% of the book sales. I get a very small percentage actually from them. So that's why they're a little bit more for sure. So I like the idea for it, that we'll get the idea of the book series to hopefully turn into some more stuff and some big things and some more videos and some stuff that we'll be able to have, some videos on it on the Fight for Us channel, as well as this one, to bring notoriety a little bit more, because the Fight for Us channel is a smaller channel, and hopefully we'll get there as well. But I'm excited to talk about it a little bit more, and hopefully you'll pick up the book series. There's a link in the description for it. And if you like the zombie apocalypse genre, zombie books, zombie fiction, they're, exciting, entertaining. They get better and better and better. More stuff happens. More craziness happens. We gain people. We lose people. It's just stuff is like what it would be in a zombie apocalypse, of course, in a fictional universe of, Fight for Us. Crystal the Singer Chick, Q&A, Bri, any chance you will live stream more when The Walking Dead is back? Like your videos, but love live streams. Try to make them every chance I get. I would love to do another live stream day. I just know that Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time works for me and my schedule, as well as people on the West Coast, because it's not too early, and outside of the country for, people in Europe. It's not too late there. I'm guessing it's probably 6 or 7 hours ahead. So it could be 6 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, whatever time it is actually around you. So I don't know based on my schedule. If I was just a full-time YouTuber, I would probably live stream another day during the week. But I don't know. I thought about doing live streams, Sunday nights after the episodes air, or Mondays, but people work and they're going to work early, or they're not, or they're off on there too. But right now, we're just going to probably stick with the Sunday afternoons, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time right now for sure. Let me see. Blaine, sorry, the thing's right on it. I can't really read it. Let me get there. Got a couple things. Sorry, it jumped on me when I try to read something here too. I answer these questions. I'll get back to that. Sorry, I know this is great. I feel like it's great radio, but a great live stream on there. Sorry. Someone's saying that I take a while. Blaine, there we go. Do you think Beta will kill someone while he's in Alexandria? I think he at least kills one person. Couple people, because Beta is a beast, so it's going to take a couple people to take him out, and if they don't really have guns, it's going to be tough to take out Beta. So maybe Beta gets wounded there, but I definitely is going to take at least one person out for sure. My man Zachary, they never really dabble into extended family with the characters. 3/4 of the cast you never see or hear about their family. I wonder if they will ever venture into trying to find the people Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. It's true. Like certain things they highlight so well, especially if they're going to kill a character off. They give their big moments. Like we didn't really know Denise that much, and then she was highlighted a little bit more and a little bit more. They do that to make their deaths impactful. Like, oh, I was starting to like her. Well, I bet you were. That's kind of the whole purpose of it, too. So, Gary asks, do you watch Doctor Who? I can't stand it now. It's gone so PC. I have not watched one episode of Doctor Who, so I can't really say that. 25 Perez says, I'm in Tampa, too. All right. Well, all right. Janet Q&A, Brad, do you think the writers may use some of Dwight's story arc for Aaron? Just a random thought. Yeah, I mean... Definitely Dwight's story has to go to somebody. I mean, I see more of Daryl and the Negan stuff, like the Dwight leading the charge on horseback. I personally thought that would be a pretty great story arc for Maggie to come save the day, because that'd be a great, reintroduction of the character and a great way to have that, because really Dwight he's got tactics. He's got somewhat of a military background for it. And who's left that has that? Not really anybody. I just think that the Dwight story arc is going to be divided up. And then who's going to get the whole Negan-Rick story arc inside Alexandria when Negan comes back with Alpha's head, and potentially, if that happens, we don't know. From the comics, that's what happens. So is Negan going to do that with Aaron? Is Negan going to talk about to Daryl? Because Michonne's probably going to be gone when that happens. We don't know. There's a lot of what ifs and how's it going to go down situation. Sorry. Hey man, shout my name out. Why? Boyd, do you think someone from Fear could end up in the World Beyond? I hope a lot of people end up in the World Beyond. I hope Morgan goes to the movies. I hope John and June and a couple people or World Beyond go to Fear. If that's because they can go there too. If it all kind of comes together, Nebraska could be a connecting point from Texas for sure. And, Morgan went from Virginia to Texas and met up with Alicia and the group like that. Well, John and then Alicia and the group. So why couldn't they meet up with the kids, Iris and Hope and everybody from the World Beyond? For sure. Angelo asks, did you see Joker? What's your thoughts? I loved it. I definitely saw Joker. I thought it was different. I thought it was pretty interesting. It was a different take on the character. It was almost like a realistic take of how a character could develop, an origin story of today where, a person could be dealing with people and how they are and how he sees the world and how he deals with depression and everything like that. And he just gets pushed over the edge, and that could happen. So I thought it was a different take on there. And I love I love Joaquin Phoenix. That's for sure. Jackie says, send some of the sunny warmth to Chicago. It's super cold and snowy here. Sorry, Jackie, to be in Chicago. I've never been to Chicago. I heard it's a nice, clean, awesome city, but definitely do not want to go in the wintertime because it is snowing and cold and gets super cold. And I don't know. Is Chicago one of those places that gets like negative degrees, wind chill, -3 or whatever? I know Minnesota and North Dakota and Montana, all those places like that too. It's crazy. I live in Florida. I lived in New Jersey for 18, 19 years, and then moved to Florida. I lived in Fort Lauderdale and now Tampa and everything, all over the place a little bit. So definitely kind of staying with the nice warm weather down here. Lindsay says, read the books, everyone. Definitely will scratch that zombie itch during these breaks, and let's all support Bri. So I appreciate that, Lindsay. I did not tell her to say that. She said that on her own. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I know some people love the book series in here. Some people that are in here on this chat now are in the book series. Some of their characters are loosely based on them and stuff on there too. So it's kind of interesting. So I love doing that, and I love having the idea of the zombie apocalypse with friends and family. How would it go? And it's all relative. It's what would be the main things and how to survive and how to be with it there too. They're on Kindle and paperback. If you got a Kindle, that's the more affordable way. The first book is 99 cents, and then they're $1.99 and $2.99. Now they're up to $3.99 because they're longer books. The books are longer, and so they're just put more towards it. And I always thought it'd be interesting because, if you read the Walking Dead comic book, right? What are they? 25, maybe 30 pages of content, and they're pictures, and on there too, they're 30 pages. And then there's like the different writing on the back and Robert Kirkman Q&A stuff on there too, the letter hacks. But so say it's like they're like 30 pages, right? And you're paying $3.99 for it. $4 for 30 pages. Or $2.99 what they were for a long time. So $4 for 30 pages. My book series, they're like 12 chapters, 15 chapters, they're 18 chapters now. And they're about 220, 230, 240 pages. So if it's 30 pages and 210 pages, now it's different. It's text. There's not really pictures in it there too, but it's 7 times more stuff on there, 7 times more content. So it's 210 versus 30, and yes, it's pictures and visual on there. But the books are $10.99 on paperback. And you're helping to support the channel, what we do here, and it comes back to the series, comes back to the videos, comes back to everything here too. So I'm excited to do that, and I love talking about the story on there for sure. So it's one of those things that I love. I love talking about it with people who want to talk about it. Some people are just going to hate everything you do no matter what it is, and that can't stop you. You can learn from it and grow from it and do whatever on there, but I'm appreciative. I appreciate everybody that is nice, kind, and supportive. And if there's criticism, and if there's constructive criticism, that's, okay. But when people are just being rude and inconsiderate just to say like this, and a lot of people that would always say that they didn't even read the books. They're like, you're copying this, you're copying that. Well, if you read the series, you know how blatantly wrong that is because it's not copying anything. It's an original story of a zombie apocalypse thing. It's crazy to see how it would be anything. And, the zombie apocalypse is a general fictional area. It's not like anybody owns that one thing. It can be your different take on it, is what it is. But Blaine, Q&A, where do you think Lydia is? Also, who do you think is better father figure for her, Daryl or Negan? Man, I don't know if Daryl's a good father figure. I think he's like a good person, but I don't think he's a good father figure. And Negan, I don't know. Of the two, neither of them have kids. So how can they say who's a good father figure? Because neither of them are fathers. But I don't know, because Daryl is a person that survived the zombie apocalypse situation, and they both have good attributes. Daryl and Negan have good attributes for, Negan to tell Lydia things and Lydia to survive a certain way. But Lydia is stuck in the woods right now, so I don't know where she's going to be back, but I would assume she goes back to Alexandria for sure. Sabbath of Blood, Q&A, Bride, does your wife share your love for The Walking Dead? She definitely does. She's been with me every step of the way for the show, for conventions, for cruises, for meeting cast and people there too. And she loves Daryl. She's a Daryl fan, and I love Daryl too. But I love, Michonne's my favorite character, but I do love Daryl. And Norman Reedus, had a chance to meet him a couple times. And if you ever have a chance to meet these actors, I think it's only going to further make you enjoy the actor, the character, the show, especially if they're a good person. Like if you love Jerry and you meet Cooper Andrews, you're like, man, I love that guy. And like Ezekiel and Corey Payton, like I love that guy. And the same thing, like I've never had a bad experience meeting anybody at a convention on there too. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but if you ever have a chance to do that too. But yeah, my wife has a bunch of Daryl shirts and a bunch of Daryl things, and she loves Daryl for sure. Renee, I don't know where Hector is. He's not blocked. I've never blocked Hector. Hector is my man. Hectorito. Hector is Hector's not blocked. Why is Rob K? Why did you ask why is Hectorito blocked? I've never blocked him at all. What happened here, Hector? Oh, that's why. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. You're not blocked. I've never blocked you at all. I'll have to see if something happened with that too. But Hector's my guy. Thank you for the super chat, Hector. But I have not blocked you on there for that. I'll have to look into that for something. I've definitely not blocked. I've not blocked anybody for a long, long time since we've had the moderators and had things for that. There's a couple of people that we've had to clear out about a couple weeks ago. But I don't know, Hector, where have you been, man? Let me see. Let me play with that while we get that, because that's not cool, man. Let me see. I can click on it and I don't see anything. No, man, there's nothing there. No, you've full access. There's no nothing there that's putting it up on there, Hector. So I don't know what happened with that, but man, Hector's been in here, I guess, the whole time. Hasn't been able to on there. So I'll look on there after this. Don't know why that's I just saw it now for the super chat on there, but it's okay. We'll look into it. Hector's my guy, and I don't know what's going on with that. Hector's actually in the book series too, so I would definitely not block him for sure. So we'll have to make sure what's going on there too. So yeah, Hector, well, I guess you can't write what at the chat, but try to type something in there. But I hate that when trolls come in here and they're just coming in here saying all this stuff, they just spam and do all this other stuff. And then when people don't have a problem and we enjoy them being around here too, it's like, what the heck? I don't know why the system here on YouTube messes up from time to time, but it does. And we just got to roll with the punches. That's for sure. So, but I appreciate you guys taking the time. I'll go for another couple minutes on there too, but I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Hopefully the cave stuff is just season 10, episode 9, and then they're out of there. You see in the thumbnail, we have Daryl with the new patch on his back. What is that signifying? Like a phoenix being reborn, a new outlook, a new thing? Because it looks cool, the new patch, but it's not really it doesn't look good because it's got the old patch and the new patch on there too. And why is that new patch there? Who put it on there? Who sewed it on there? Did Judith do it? And she's like, yeah. Or did Michonne do it before she left? Did Carol do it? Did Connie do it? I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with the back half of season 10, and I'm okay with that. I'm excited to find out. I don't know what's going to happen with the future of the series outside of season 10. I would assume season 11 is going to be Commonwealth, Milton's, Mercer, Princess, Eugene, and Stephanie coming together with that. And I think it should be a good one because it should be awesome. Season 10B will be here before you know it, guys. I'm definitely excited to see what happens for us going forward with this channel, The Walking Dead Communities. If you're on Facebook, guys, definitely check out. We have a Facebook page for the PT channel. Just search the PT channel. And also we have a TWD community. So it's TWD community Facebook page and a group. You can message me or follow me on Instagram at the PT channel. And we have a Twitter at the PT channel as well. And I think that's all the stuff we got besides YouTube, of course. So thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate it. Hector, I'm going to look into what's going on with that. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to post here because it's not from our end. That's for sure. Because I did not block you. I looked at the super chat and it says, you're available to talk and comment. But I don't know why this stuff happens sometimes. So I apologize for that and for everybody here involved. Thank you guys for taking the time. I appreciate it. If you're going to watch football, hopefully your teams win. And we'll be back next Sunday for the big live stream as well. But we'll see who's going to the Super Bowl on there as well. Once we get more information, we always share all the information with you guys. I'll check out the video. I'll post my video tomorrow about Carol and that walker, that whisper that turned into a walker. I want to know your take on that. I'll post it tomorrow. And thank you guys for being a part of this chat as always and the live stream. Thank you guys for everything that you do. I truly appreciate it. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, being true to yourself, blocking out the haters. Believe in yourself. You can do it. That's for sure. I want to hear what your guys are going to be up to this year, and let me know if we can help in any way, motivate, inspire. That's a goal of ours. So enjoy your Sunday and whatever you do, and I'll be back next Sunday. See you guys.